Oh my gosh, hello guys! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dylan, and today we're going to be doing a reading wrap-up for the month, or I guess kind of for the month of July, and also kind of for the Reading Rush challenge that happened last week. I didn't officially enter the readathon, but I kind of did anyway, so I read a lot of manga. So let's get into this right now. This is a lot to talk about. So the first manga that I read for this readathon was the Frankenfran Omnibus Volume 1 and 2 from Seven Seas. This is a horror manga, a gross-out horror manga, about a girl named Frankenfran, basically, who is like a Frankenstein monster slash scientist, and she is absolutely insane. She likes to experiment on people and combine them with creatures and just a lot of really gross things. There's a lot of gross chapters in this book, so if you don't like gross manga, don't read this. But it was very, very good. I did read the whole book, and it did keep me enthralled throughout. I really did like it. I wouldn't say this is an absolute favorite, but I did enjoy what I read. It's pretty funny too, actually, which I wasn't expecting. There's a lot of flip to a really good page, but we're not going to show you that because I can't do that on this channel. Anyway, yeah, this was just a fun read. It was just kind of crazy and wacky, and I liked it. If you like something that's gross and very, very, very strange, check this out. I liked it. So the next thing I read was an entire series, actually. I read the entire manga of Eternal Sabbath, ES. This is written by Fuyumi Soryo, who is the creator of Mars, which I haven't read yet, but I have been meaning to read this manga for so long. I've had it on my shelf for just the longest time, and it is just a really, really good series. It's basically about this boy, a boy who is a genetically modified human. There he is right there on the cover. That is Shuro. Shuro is genetically modified, and he's created in a lab, and basically he has psychic abilities that allow him to enter people's minds and control them, and also change their memories. So it's really, really interesting. And then add into the equation his clone, Isaac, who is basically after him and trying to raise havoc on the world. And it is a really, really, really good manga, a really great cat and mouse game if you like that. Sort of like Death Note a little bit, just because I can't really think of something that this is like, but it's also totally its own thing. I really, really loved this. This is 8 volumes long, and it was so good. I really, really liked it. I really liked all of the social commentary about basically humanity, and just there's a lot of talk about grief and suicide, so trigger warnings if those are something that you do not want to read about, but I really, really liked it. I thought it was really, really good. Just had a lot of good social commentary that I really, really loved. So if you're looking for something different, it is out of print, but if you can find it, you absolutely should, because it is so good. It blew my mind and just brought me to tears and made me go through all of the emotions. So definitely check it out. It is really, really great. Now we're gonna switch gears into something completely different that I read. This is Girlfriends, the first omnibus. So this is a Yuri title written by Milk Morinaga, and it is about 2 girls in high school, and one girl is extremely shy and doesn't really talk very much, and then she meets this girl on the cover who basically brings out the best in her. And I did really like this. I didn't love it, to be honest. I only read this volume. There is a second volume, which I will be reading in the future, which is the conclusion to the series. And this was good. The only problem I really had with it is kind of a personal taste for me. It had a lot of high school melodrama that just kind of made me roll my eyes a lot. Like, there's a lot about makeup and a lot about boys, girls, I guess, love. And then just, hair and just really kind of melodramatic, just silly plot lines that I didn't really care about. So it's not my absolute favorite so far, but I did like it. I thought it was cute. There's a lot of cute scenes, and the art is really, really adorable. Let me show you some of the art. I really, really like it. Just very, very cute art. I really do like the art style. It has a lot of melodrama that I'm not really interested in, so keep that in mind if you're interested in reading this. Next up, I did read some of the manga that Otaku Mike sent me. I read basically half of it because I just devoured them. The first thing I read was Mushoku Tensei. This is volume 1. This is an isekai manga about a boy who, or I guess technically he's like a 37-year-old man, who is living at home with his parents, and he's a NEET, he has no job, and he basically doesn't really have a life. And one day he wanders outside and kind of gets in a fight with his family. He gets kicked out of his house, and I believe he gets hit by a car, if I'm remembering right, and dies. And that happens in like the first 3 pages of the manga. And then basically he gets reborn as this little boy who's on the cover, and he is reborn into this world of magic and elves and just wonder, I guess. And so he wants to become this magical person. He wants to become a wizard. I'm tired. His father is also very physically inclined. He is a sword fighter, and he teaches him everything he knows about sword fighting. So he wants to become a wizard and a fighter at the same time, and basically prove that he can be a good person. And I really liked that plotline. I really, really liked the idea of starting over a new life and just being someone who is worth a damn. I really liked that. I thought that was really sweet, and I also really loved the family dynamic of this manga as well. That made me kind of tear up. It was actually really sweet. I really, really liked this. My only real gripe is that it is pretty, I guess, generic in a lot of ways. It seems like a very generic isekai. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to continue it. I want to, just because I really like the family dynamic, but there's something at the end of this volume that kind of messes that up. So I don't know how I'm going to like this going forward. We'll see, but I did enjoy this first volume. And yeah, I will probably continue it in the future. The next manga I read was Not Lives, and this is by Amamiya Kyoka? Sorry, I'm not very good with these names. And basically this is about a boy, another isekai manga, and this is about a boy who is very into video games. He loves video games, he plays them all the time, and he actually develops his own games. And one day he comes across this CD on the train, and he ends up trying to play it, and it goes inside of his body, which that's fucking insane. Anyway, it goes inside of his body, and he basically gets transported to this other world, very isekai manga-esque. However, the twist is that he actually is controlling this avatar who's on the cover. That's the girl. Cannot tell you her name at all. Amamiya. Oh, that's not the author. That's her name. Why do manga creators... See, the author's name is like teeny tiny print, and then this character's name is like, BAM! Right there. So that's not the mangaka. The mangaka is actually Wataru Kurosuma. I'm sorry. This was confusing. Anyway, so yeah, he basically gets transported into this game world, and they have to do a battle royale sort of scenario where his avatar has to fight another avatar. And if you die in the game, you die in real life. It's kind of like Sword Art Online a lot. I wasn't the biggest fan of this. I kind of enjoyed it. It was interesting. I liked the little twist that you're controlling an avatar, but at the same time, she's also a real person, so you're controlling a person fighting another person who is an avatar. It's confusing, but it's okay. I thought it was alright. It wasn't my favorite. There's also a lot of fan service in this manga, which was not for me, so that's something to consider if you're not into panties and non-existent boobies. But I digress, that's fine. If you're into that, great, go for it. But this was just not my favorite. I would skip it. Yeah, I don't know if I'll continue it. I've already kind of forgotten a lot about it, so yeah. It was alright though. It was fine. And then the last manga that I read for the readathon for this time was the first volume of Beastars! Yas! I was so excited for this when I saw it announced, and I'm so happy I read it. This is written and story and art is done by Paru Itagaki, and this is a very, very good manga. It's basically about this wolf on the cover. His name is Legoshi, who is a really sweet wolf. He is in the theater group. He gets accused of murder in the very, very beginning of the story. So there's a murder that happens, one of the students dies. The herbivore, it's an herbivore, an alpaca, that gets eaten by somebody. So it's a lot about herbivores and carnivores trying to kind of live together and coincide, but there's a lot of tension between them. It's like they're living together, but they're not, if that makes sense. So it has a lot of that going on. It's a very, very interesting. I really love the art style. It's very sketchy and just very different, but I love it. I'm all for it. It's so good. I really, really love the art style. I think it's awesome. And the basic premise besides that is that there is this person called the Beastar, who is like the hero of the furry universe in this universe. And basically he's like this all-powerful hero that's going to help everybody, and he will eventually become like this really successful businessman and become a millionaire. So it's all about them trying to become the Beastar while there is this murder going around. There's a murder on the loose. And I found it really, really great. I really, really liked this. I can't wait to read more of it. Volume 2 comes out later this year, and I'm so for it. I love it so much. So definitely check out Beastar. I really, really, really liked this manga a lot. So there you have it. That is my manga reading wrap-up for the Reading Rush Marathon. What did you guys read for the Reading Rush Marathon? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to talk to you about it. Have you read any of these? There's a lot of books here, girl. Have you read any of these? Let me know what you thought of them in the comments below. I read a lot this month, as you can see. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, please remember, for the love of all that is gay, stay sexy!